What's going on, guys? It is your boy Kev Sidon here, and I am back with another video. And today, guys, we are talking about Chinese product, particularly just the Gem boxes, Gem 2s, and the Simply Chinese that will be coming out here soon. The reason why I'm talking about this, guys, is that a lot of you guys know that we rip a lot of Gem boxes on stream. It's something that I enjoy collecting myself as well. And as of recently, these boxes have skyrocketed, and I want to talk about it because it actually matters, especially for the people that like Gem boxes. I know a lot of people that got into the Chinese market just because it was a lot cheaper than Japanese and English, but the Chinese now is also getting up there, especially because there's a lot of things that are going to be played into it. Now we're going to be watching a video from CB Aeon, man. He actually covered this video 7 minutes. A lot of the stuff that he talks about, I agree with. I've experienced myself, especially because again, he himself looked like he's a seller, a vendor in some way, shape, or form, or a collector. I don't know too much about him. I just ran into his video just the other day. I was watching on my lunch break, so I was like, yo, I gotta talk about this because I definitely understand where the brother is coming from, because I deal with Japanese and Chinese myself. So yeah.
What's up, guys? It's CB. As you can see, the Gem boxes, both volume 1 and 2, are skyrocketing in price. And today I'm going to tell you why that's the case. So a little price trend of what's happening, right? I made a video a couple months ago when this product released, and I told you guys not to FOMO because boxes were like 50 bucks, 55 bucks on pre-sale, and then they did drop down to as low as 35 to 40. And I kept on telling you guys to wait because I was
Actually, there was actually at one point where you could have gotten these like at $20, $25 a pop, like legit.
really hoping that the prices would come down to where Gem Volume 1 boxes were around 20 bucks to 25 bucks, but that didn't happen, right? And so I made another video explaining that, my hypothesis was wrong, my price prediction was wrong, and I didn't expect the power of evolutions to carry this set. However, the main reason why these boxes are trending upwards so much is, well, it is, of course, with the demand, right? But the main reason is the Pokemon Company. Pokemon Company in China is limiting the number of cases released to the distributors per week. So before, I could order as many cases of Gem 2 as I wanted. That was the case for Gem 1. I ordered, 50 cases, 100 cases, whatever it may be, and they'll say, no problem, here's the price, and they'll ship it over. For Gem 2, however, they have completely limited the supply. Not the distributor themselves, but the Pokemon Company. And so I was asking them why I couldn't order more cases of Gem 2, and this was their response, right? All right, so I asked them, currently, do you still have adequate inventory for Gem 2? And he says, no, the official has changed its supply strategy. For example, the official supply to me was 1,000 cases per week before, but now the quantity has been reduced for all distributors, not just him, all distributors, and he can only get 200 cases. So that's an 80% drop in product, right? He says, this rule will be maintained for a long time in the future. So when the previous inventory in other countries sell out, aka the stuff that I ordered before, the price of Gem 2 would increase. And this is why you see the huge increase of the price right now.
So yeah, and here's the thing. My distributor, my guy that I deal with and I get stuff with, and I got two, right? I got one locally and I got one that I actually talk to over there, and it's pretty much the exact same thing. That they're both telling me the exact same thing, right? And he's gonna cover in this video, but I'll kind of jump ahead here and just kind of let y'all know what it is. Is that again, Pokemon Center Japan, China is new. They're brand new. They're into the market, and we don't really know how their print run goes. As of right now, they pretty much confirmed that we're not going to be getting only Gem 1s. They're going to be focusing at this point going forward, on volume Gem 2s, and the new Simply Chinese 151 that'll be coming out here soon with the exclusive Pikachu and Hunter that everybody's pretty much hunting for, right? So because of that, right, that we're now, as of right now, we're not getting any more Gem 1s. You're going to see those go up, packs and as well as boxes, especially the remaining boxes, because again, it's not something that we get here in the States. It's something that's overseas, right? So all that overseas stuff, once it all runs out in circulation, United States, Europe, Canada, all those places, right? At that point in time, the only place you'll be able to get it would be China for those particular stores that still do have it. And at that point in time, the phenomenal price has significantly gone up because they no longer have it, or they're limited how much they're getting, like the volume 2s.
And he continues to say, all distributors have had their supply reduced by 80 to 90%, and the authorities are controlling the quantity. And this is all reflected in the price that you see today, right? Because prices are now, I think, 55 to 60 bucks.
I love how they put the authorities are controlling the quantity instead of saying Pokemon China. You know what I mean? Like it's the po, bro.
Maybe as high as $65 in some places. But I think it's hovered around 60 bucks per box for Gem 2. And this exactly matches what this guy has been telling me. Pretty much all the cheap cases are going to sell out. And so if you want more boxes, more cases, you have to order from a more limited supply, and therefore the price increases. You know, it just makes sense. Because I was able to get cases for about 30, 35-ish per box, maybe a month ago, 3 weeks to a month ago. And today, if I wanted to order more Gem 2 cases, it will cost me $40 to $43, maybe up to 45 bucks.
Yeah, that's pretty much where I'll be at here going forward when it comes to my gem boxes as well, guys. Like that's also another reason why I needed to make this video, because I just wanted to make awareness about it, because it's just that's just the way that the market is right now. Like I was getting these gem boxes at 20 bucks. I was selling them at that point at like $30, $35. I made a little bit. I usually tell everybody I make maybe $10 to $15 per box, right? Little small margins, not a big deal. But going forward, right, I'm going to be getting these things at like $35, $40 a box. So what in turn is going to go around, and I'm going to charge you guys $50, you know, to $55 a box. And now that's where you're seeing now this increase of pricing to where they're, you know, $50 to $60 a box now, because we are no longer getting them at 20. We are no longer getting them at $25, $30. We are getting them higher than that, right? So that's just kind of where the market is. And again, it's not like we're making crazy money off in this. A lot of people think, oh, you guys are making crazy. Maybe for the big players. I'm not even that big of a player. Like I get a small amount of quantity. We go through the streams, I order again, and it gets pricey. But yeah, I used to have been able to get like $20 a box.
And that doesn't include the tariffs and the shipping. So that's why the price is skyrocketing.
And that's another thing too, right? Now you got to include, I mean, as much as that you might not want to talk about politics, and not trying to talk about politics, but that does play a role into this, right? The tariffs that are happening, you know, what our president of the United States is, you know, having a whole war with the world right now, and everybody's just the way it is, what it is, right? So yeah, and that's also not including shipping. You know how like this stuff weighs, you know, especially when you're going overseas, like the clearance, and like it's a lot, bro.
Rocketing as it is, because all the cheap cases are now sold out. Why is the Pokemon company China doing all this and limiting the supply by so much? I have no idea, but I think I said in a previous video that the speculation is if you limit the amount of cases to distributors, then they are less inclined to ship it overseas and have that inventory for local domestic Chinese Pokemon fans. That's kind of what we think is happening, but to be honest, I have no idea. Because
I got two theories on this, actually. One theory is, of course, what he's saying right now, right? Is that China, again, Pokemon China is very new. And if you guys just know how China works, China are very strict. They're very set on the way they do things. They're very like, we have a schedule. We got a deadline. It needs to be met. This needs to be played out this way. Exactly needs to be played. Like, that's the reason why, you know, China's like what, the second or third most powerful country, yeah, you know, in the world, right? Because they're very disciplined and they got on there pretty quickly. So you know, when I talk about Pokemon China, right, you got to think the way that they structure it, it has to like kind of maybe follow certain maybe Chinese guidelines, or maybe you know, there's just got to be, maybe they have to make it to where, because again, the way that China is, they're going to take care of their people first if they can, in a lot of cases, at least from what I think. And more than likely they're like, we are going to take care of our domestic store first before we worry about anything overseas. And they're not stupid. Pokemon China knows, like the Pokemon company knows, they're not stupid that, then, you know, these stores, these LGSs, the people that are able to get this stuff in China or in Japan or what overseas, and they know they're selling it to other people overseas, right? To people in the United States like that. So what's the best way to eliminate that, or to slow it down, is to limit how much is going out to the market. You know, pretty much was almost what's happening in the United States now, but the difference is we actually have a shortage in the United States, while over there they're purposely limiting and making a shortage, right? So again, the authorities, they're controlling the quantity, controlling what's going out. My other thing is that I also think it could just be a play when it comes to the market. I'm not a huge conspiracy guy, and this is kind of like way far from the truth, if I'm just being honest. But I've heard people talk about it, is that Pokemon is pretty much again controlling the market to where they know there's value in this, and they're trying to make as much value as can in their secondary third market, right? And it brings, if they limit it, then if there's more of a need for it. Like what happens when you take something, like that now you can't have it, now you want more of it. Like there were people that I've never seen or never talked about gem boxes or even cared about the gem boxes, but now all of a sudden there's more value to it, right? Now people are talking about it, now people are wanting it, right? Why was it 3 months ago, right? The Captain's Pikachu, an exclusive card from the gem boxes, were going for like $100, $150. So now it's close to about $300 today. That card has significantly have actually gone up raw, right? And the reason why, well, you got to think, if there's no more gem boxes going out and all the cheap ones up, that makes now the singles in those boxes going to be up, because people, when they rep into it, they're going to be looking for that now. So again, everything plays a role. I mean, I'm not saying that I'm right in any way. This is just what kind of goes to my head and what I've heard from people, but it definitely is something, when they're limiting it.
Even though Pokemon Company China can produce and ship 1,000 cases a week to a distributor, they are choosing to only ship 200. I don't know why, but again, the speculation is more inventory for domestic fans. So that's pretty much it for Gem 2, but Gem 1 is also skyrocketing, as you can see. I believe boxes now are also close to $45, $50, maybe even higher from there.
They're actually higher than that. Currently, right now, at the time of this recording, they're about $50 to $60.
And that's because Gem 1 is completely out of print. The Pokemon Company China, to Pokemon Company Beijing, is no longer printing Gem 1. They are focusing on their printing power on Gem 2, the new 151 surprise set that's coming out, and eventually Gem 3 and Gem 4. So they have stopped production on Gem 1 as far as I know. Now, will that come back? I don't know. Pokemon Company China is still relatively new, so we don't really have an idea of how their reprints work. But as of right now, Gem Volume 1 is completely out of print, and the few remaining cases from China are now going for $800 to $850 per case. Insane prices. So I see Volume 1 continue to go up. Volume 2, I think, will also continue to follow as well. So how high can these boxes go? I don't know. I truly don't know. I really expected these boxes on release to be printed like Volume 1 did and then drop down to $20, $25. Obviously, that didn't happen. No one saw that the Pokemon Company would control quantity and limit quantity in releases. So that artificially increased the price. But yeah, I see buy now listings at $63. I mean, $60. If you want to buy from this one, it's $55.
And these are just for the volume 2. Volume 1s are about matching now at like Gem 1. Like Gem 1 and Gem 2 are about almost the exact same price wise.
But what doesn't help the case with all this is the actual values of the pulls going up as well. PSA 10 Umbreon, the exclusive IR, is now over $1,000.
And here's the thing, and I want to touch on this because I just sent my exclusive cards from the I sent my Umbreon up, I sent my Leafeon up, my Sylveon up, from the gem boxes, my Captain Pikachu's up. So I just sent those up, and again, I sent those up now because I just know the market is going to explode for these singles, because now that we know that Pokemon China is no longer making the Gem 1s, right? That's going to make the singles go up. My Captain's Pikachu is going up, and it's already starting to go up. If you get a PSA 10 on it, it's going up. Even in a PSA 9 right now, you're actually still making some decent money off it, which is actually pretty insane. And the same thing for the Umbreon, the Sylveon, and all that. And there is consistent buyers. Literally, there are people now consistently buying these at that pricing, and usually these are the collectors that want them. And not only that, they also know that these are going to be out of print. I literally just talked to a collector today at the vending show when I went, and he literally bought a Captain's Pikachu in a PSA 10, and he bought it actually for $1,300. It was actually a lot more than what was actually on eBay. So again, just to kind of show you, there's actually even sales above the $1,000 mark. It just might not even could be on eBay, and people know what this is. So card singles for these cards will continue to go up. I'm not even an investment guy like that. I don't even make predictions like that, but I'm going to make a prediction. I'm going to predict that these continue to go up because, again, Pokemon China right now, they're controlling the quantity, and we just don't know how their print quality is going to, or their print cycle is going to be because they're new, right? So as of right now, the only thing we know is that, Gem 1 is one and done.
It's at, look at that, 920. The cat's going crazy. In a PSA 10, the Umbreon is currently sitting at 910 with a
And hopefully we get Gem 10s on all my stuff, my Captain's Pikachu, my Umbreon, and all that.
day left. It's just nothing about any of this is helping the situation on the prices of these cases. So I expect this product to continue to raise for a little bit. I wouldn't be surprised if it hit 70. I do think the maximum that these boxes will be worth is $70, but I have been wrong before, so take that with a grain of salt. But yeah, we will see.
Yeah, and that's what I'm thinking too. I mean, I think the ceiling for this, I'm gonna give it an additional $10, because here's the thing: my initial thing was $70 too, but to play it safe, I was at additional 10, so I'm gonna put it at 80. I don't think it's gonna go more than 80. That's just my prediction on it, just the way that I'm seeing things right now. Because once you get around to that 80 market, you're in Japanese territory. You're getting into somewhat English territory in certain things, right? And then once people start looking at their funds and their options and what they could have, right? Then at that point in time, they're gonna maybe look more like in, let's say, Japanese, because if, let's say, these boxes are 80 for like Gem 1, right? And compared to 80, you could take a look at like maybe picking up like a black and white booster box, right? If you know where to pick them up, you can pick them up around at a decent price, around 80 to 100. Then at that point in time, those guaranteed hit rates, while these ones, they do guaranteed hit rates, it's just, what are your chances of going to be getting that one compared to the Japanese? There's more packs to open as well, right? And they're usually on all, the common and the normal stuff are usually going to be worth a little bit more in Japanese than Chinese, right? So again, people are going to start weighing their options, is what I'm saying.
See where these prices go. If you have any sealed cases or sealed boxes of the Gem 1 Volume 1 and Gem 2 Volume 2, do I suggest you hold it and keep it as an investment purpose or investment profile? That's hard to say because, again, the Pokemon Company is so new that we don't know how their reprints work, if they'll reprint, how much they'll reprint, all that kind of stuff. So it is a little bit risky, but you know what they say, high risk, high reward. So it might be worth it.
Yeah, so I'm buying as much as I can myself right now, and I am holding to a certain amount, to a certain degree, and in no sense, and I'm buying it and holding it as an investment piece. I was saying if I was, it'd be more of a short-term play. Can it be a long-term play? 100%, right? Can you see in 20 years? 10 years, 6 years down the line, people want to come back to wanting the Captain's Pikachu or something like that. 100%. It's Pikachu, right? It's a main popular Pokemon. So yeah, 100%, especially if it's exclusive. So yeah, I can see it as an investment piece, but for me right now, it's like a short-term investment piece where I'm holding on to it. It gets to a certain point where it's going to be high. Then if I get to a point where it hits $80 box, I'm going to liquidate my my stuff and look at getting into investing into other things, because again, that's just where the investment game goes for the short term. But ultimately, should you hold maybe a little bit for long term? Sure, why not? It never hurts just to hold a little bit long term, but for me, it's more of a short term play, I think.
But as for me, I will continue to update you guys on if the prices change. If you have any questions, please leave them down in the comments below. And yeah, that's all I got for you today. By the way, a little teaser. Here is the video that's coming up. It is
all right, and then go check out CB Adon, man. He's makes a lot of videos. This is the first of many videos I'll be watching from him going forward here, but I really do like his take on this. I wanted to give my opinion on it because it's something that I do dabble in myself as well. But yeah, that's currently where we're at with the Chinese market, guys. I definitely do want to talk about it, especially since we do have a lot of like Gem fans and EV fans in my chat that buy from me pretty often. But going forward here, guys, I'll try to keep you guys updated as well on where the prices and things at the market at. If you guys have some cards there you guys are looking at, this might be the time to send them up to PSA, try to get some grades on them and make some money plays, because I set my cards up because right now the singles are just exploding. But other than that has been your boy Kept Signing. I do appreciate y'all coming by to the video. We will catch y'all on the next one. Peace. I'm out of here.